I hope you're ready to get another season started. Let's try and improve on last year.
Hey guys, and welcome back to another episode of my F1 2018 Career Mode. Today we are here for the start of Season 4 of this Career Mode, and after a very, very interesting finale of Season 3 in the Red Bull car, we now arrive here at Mercedes, our brand new team. And if you want to see how we got to that point, then do check out the last episode at Abu Dhabi in the top right hand corner of your screen. But as you can see, we arrive here at Australia, and the regulation change has taken effect. It's been a big shift in the pack, and there's been a hell of a lot of changes. First of all, you can see we've got 2 failed upgrades on the car, which we're going to get on the car hopefully fairly soon and work on those. But as you can see right now, we're looking at the chart, and there's been a lot of changes here and a lot of ups and downs. Now, the main ones to point out here are Williams, Red Bull, Force India and Toro Rosso. Those 4 teams have really dropped down the most. Renault dropped down a fair bit as well, as did Sauber, but mainly it's those 4 teams. Ferrari and Mercedes actually the 2 best teams in terms of stable development. And as you can see, we're going to look at the R&D tree here of what Mercedes have done, and look at this reliability. With the exception of the ICE, which we need to upgrade straight away, and it's going to cost a lot of points, 1,300, very expensive. With the exception of that, the car is super reliable, and there's a lot of potential to build upon this to make it a good car. Like I mentioned, you can see on the chassis side of things, we've got 2 upgrades here which are failed, which are pending. So if we get those on the car, then that should be a very important upgrade for us, and hopefully we can really push forward with that one. And we've got all those minor ones before as well to get on the car. And also on the aero side of things, this actually ain't too bad. Mercedes are the second best team in the aero, so we can kind of postpone aero and focus mainly on the chassis. Engine wise, Mercedes, as you'd expect, are right up there, but aero is the best department of them all. So we can probably leave that one alone for now and work on the others, mainly the ICE and the chassis. But we're going to delve into the first Friday practice session of the season, and I can announce that we do have some changes in place for this. Now, I've got some mods on, basically. Now, we're going to run them through very quickly. First of all, though, you can see there the returning Max Verstappen after a 1-year hiatus. He's back in Formula 1. You can see there the first glimpse of the official Williams car with the proper Martini red, light blue and dark blue colouring, along with all the sponsors. Also, in terms of the Ferrari, we've got the official sponsors they got from about Japan onwards, and also the Chandon on the McLaren. We've also got the Heineken and official just general track sponsors, whether it be Johnny Walker or Heineken around all of the F1 circuits. And also, of course, for myself personally, the standard helmet and gloves combination in the Mercedes. And I also have one more mod, which is a game changer, and it's a tyre temperature mod, because I found someone in the race department that had a similar issue to me, and basically this tyre mod is going to help us in terms of our overall issues with the tyre temperatures. But first of all, let's have an interview with Claire, and I'll talk about that later on.
You put in a lot of time on the track today. Was there a reason for this? You scraped the walls a few times. Were you struggling for grip?
Well, thanks anyway.
So there we go, interview done. And like I was saying, in terms of the tyre temperature mod, what this does is basically it changes the way it works for people that have a glitch like myself. So it's very simple. We still have tyre temperature warming and issues. The difference is they cool off more naturally, and it's a lot easier to manage. So depending on your driving, you can still get them hot, but also depending on your driving, you can actually cool them down a lot easier, which is what I wanted. So essentially we still could have that tyre temperature issue, especially at tracks like Monaco and whatnot, but we are going to have the ability to keep it under control, which is exactly what I want, an absolute game changer. So basically Season 4 is going to be very exciting, a clean slate, and hopefully we're able to push absolutely flat out. But as you can see, we're now in Saturday qualifying, and while I've been chatting away, we've been seeing our first lap of the session, and we go P18 there, which was quite surprising to me because we're only 7 tenths off, yet we're P18. I can say the grid with the regulation change is extremely close this season. They're literally 1 second covers the entire 20 cars. It's that bloody close, at least around Australia. And I knew the pressure was on my second attempt and final attempt to get a lap that was good enough for Q2, because we are currently in the drop zone in 18th place. And as you can see, we're working very hard here behind the wheel in Sector 1 to try and get the delta time up, as we're currently about a tenth of a second up on our previous best. And across Sector 1, we're only 2 tenths down on the leaders, which is a pretty good first sector. Not my best, but still pretty good nonetheless, as we now go into Sector 2. filtering through these next couple of corners as we now brake late for this 90-degree right, which we lock up a little bit, and that does cross my line, and I lose the back end on the exit, and I make a mistake, and that is going to be critical for qualifying as time has already ended and the session is over and we cannot improve. Therefore, we're going to start season 4 from 18th place and the penultimate row of the grid in Australia. You can see there it was extremely close in qualifying with Bottas right at the top end there, but ultimately we lacked a little bit of pace. But it's going to be an exciting race. Strategy is going to be critical and the grid is super close. So let's just jump into the race and let's see how season 4 kicks off down under.
New drivers, new cars and a new Formula One season. But it's the same Albert Park that we've come to know and love for more than 2 decades now that hosts the first round of a 21 race championship, taking us from here in Melbourne, Australia, across the globe before we eventually reach the season finale at Yas Marina circuit in Abu Dhabi. So here we are at Albert Park Circuit, 3.3 miles of public roads, closed for the weekend of course, make for a bumpy surface with little undulation. There are 16 corners around the lake with the best passing opportunities coming at turn 1 and turn 3. I'm joined today in the commentary box, as I will be throughout this season, by a great racing driver, former F1 competitor, and who was world champion once upon a time as well, and an all-round top chap. It's the one and only Anthony Davidson. And tell me, here we are, first Grand Prix of the season, the first time racing these cars. So what are the big questions that need to be answered here, in your view?
First of all, Crofty, and thanks for the glowing introduction. I just want to say it's a real privilege to be here, and I can't wait to see what this competitive field has in store for us this season. Now, to answer your question, obviously there's the question of performance in race trim, but really this is going to be all about reliability. It's the first Grand Prix of the season, don't forget. You're pushing all your new components to their limits. Formula One cars are full of very sophisticated but also very sensitive technology. So the most important thing today is to get to the end of the race, keep everything in good condition and try to stay out of trouble while you're at it.
So before the off, let's remind ourselves of yesterday's qualifying session with a look at the starting grid. Good job yesterday from Valtteri Bottas. The Finn starts from pole position. Sergio Perez lines up alongside. Looking down the rest of the grid, we have Vettel, Raikkonen, Fernando Alonso and Magnussen, Ricciardo, Ocon, Verstappen and Carlos Sainz, Hartley, Hülkenberg, Pierre Gasly and Van Dorn, Leclerc, Ericsson, Roman Grosjean and Martinez, Stroll and Sergei Sorokin rounds off the grid. And now it's time to head down to the track.
Right then, here we are on the grid for the Australian Grand Prix, round number 1 of season 4. Let's see how this one goes. I'm looking forward to it because we're not miles off the pace. The grid is extremely close and it's all about fine margins. And because it's so close, I think the strategy is going to play a major part in this one. And we're going to see how the car performs. We start from P18 after a pretty disappointing qualifying. And in terms of the strategy, we're going to start on the super soft, transition over to the soft compound tyres and hope that we can do a comfortable one stop. This is going to be our first proper chance to really assess the tyre temperatures. I was able to do practice okay. Had a little bit of concern because I did all 5 laps in the race strategy and towards the last one on the 5th lap I was starting to struggle. So let's see how this one goes. I'm looking forward to it. I think it's definitely more manageable on the Red Bull. So I think with that in mind I can try and have a good race. But that being said, let's just jump into it here at Australia. Let's see how things go for the start of season 4. Let's get it. Right then, here we go. Let's get the revs up. Down under in Melbourne, Australia. 5 red lights. And we are away for the start of season 4. Not the best start you'll ever see, but in the second phase you can see the difference compared to the Red Bull, how we can actually somewhat keep up in a straight line. Yellow flag, a little bit of contact with various cars. We're going to go around the outside of Charles Leclerc here. No way through though, we're kind of moving around. Left, right and centre, our power unit isn't the best one, so we need to keep that in mind. Leclerc goes for the dive over the Sentry into turn 3. 3 wide up ahead here. We're going to get on the inside of Marcus Ericsson. Go for the squeeze on the exit. Gasly and Hülkenberg going side by side here. We have to get out of it and be careful with the contact. Can we get past Hülkenberg here? Up the inside. It's a late braking move. I think Hülkenberg might have been the one that got a little bit of damage. That debris that we saw fly off back in turn 3. So we're now up at the P15. And it's a great start so far as we're now on the back of Pierre Gasly here, who's on the back of Stoffel Van Dorn in the McLaren. I think we should be okay on the straights as well. Yes, we are. So Let's watch this. Gasly and Van Dorn going side by side there. Gasly getting out of it though, halfway through. I wonder if we can try and make a move here into overtake ERS. A little bit of contact between Gasly and Van Dorn here. Oh, I thought about the double move, but I can't get it done. We're going to get past Van Dorn though, just about. Squirt the rear tyres on. We lock on, right front to left rear, but we get the job done. And we're up into P14. Now we've got a Force India here who's causing a bit of a train already, so there'll be an opportunity to hopefully make some moves very, very soon. But a great opening lap, and we're up at the 14th place. Well, we're 3 laps in, and tyres are still under 100 degrees. So that's definitely progress compared to the Red Bull, which is good news. Hopefully it stays that way. But a personal best, we're running at a decent pace here. Everyone's kind of DRSing each other at the moment, so there's no real movements happening. But I'm sure things will start to happen soon. You can tell at the moment with the regulation change, everybody's just lost their edge when it comes to this general straight line speed performance. And everyone's just struggling to really get close to anybody at the moment. And everyone's fairly similar when it comes to straight line speed. So yeah, let's see what happens here. I'm kind of waiting for the pit stops to begin with the ultra soft runners in the front and see where they filter down into the pack. It's so hard to get close to a car. It genuinely feels like I'm driving a 2018 car in real life. It almost feels like I've got dirty air. It's that kind of vibe. No one can really get close to anybody, and we're all just kind of waiting for something to happen. Looks like some of those guys on the ultras have finally had enough. They're all coming into the pit lane. So one by one they're going to start trickling in, and that's going to give us the openings that we need to attack people, hopefully. It looks like those on ultras though are going to pull off a one-stop strategy, at least it seems from the outside. They've gone very far on that tyre, so let's see what happens. Okay, my tyres are just starting to get towards that danger zone now, 103 on both of the left side tyres. But I mean, we've done really good to get this far without any tyre temperature issues. It goes to show
Valtteri is in the pits.
That this can be improved, and I'm very, very happy to see this so far. Meanwhile, plenty of cars in the pit lane, including my teammate Valtteri Bottas, as you heard. So we're going to take a massive jump up into 6th place. Looks like Ricardo's at the front of this train, is going a bit slow, and everyone's kind of getting held up a little bit here as we go through the fast chicane. It's brought us right back into contention as well. Ricardo currently lapping in 2nd place, and now Hartley and Leclerc are going at it. Let's try and see if we can pick something up from this battle. Ricardo comes in, so we continue on. Also the Ferrari of that is Kimi Räikkönen comes in. Obviously us on supers we're staying out a little bit longer here, so we will be on much better soft compound tyres at the end if the AI go for the soft compound tyres. No point competing though, the cars in front, especially the Toro Rosso, that's still a bit faster than my car in terms of straight line speed, so we don't really have that edge, at least not at the moment, to really beat these guys, but I'm sure it will come eventually. But if we stick with these guys when it comes to on-track position, when it comes to the pit stops, we've got a chance. So far this is a very typical Australian Grand Prix. Not much really going on because everyone's just in close proximity, but nothing can really happen. But we are scheduled to come in this lap. And I'm curious to see exactly how many of these guys in front do come into the pit lane, because I want to see who we can maybe battle with. It's going to be interesting. Here we go, let's feed the car through these final few corners, and we'll get onto a fresh set of soft compound tyres. I've got also a front wing adjustment on the way. Leclerc and Gasly come in, that's enough for me. We've got the first pit box, so let's battle these guys. Get it all slowed down. There we go, right. Here we go, into the pit lane, straight into the best pit box. No hold-ups, 2.3, come on. There's a bit of a lollipop hesitation there. But they're all going to get held up there by that Haas, or at least Gasly is. Leclerc gets away, but we've managed to jump Pierre Gasly in the pit lane, which is critical. So that is exactly what we needed. So we managed to gain a position here. Look at all these cars on the pit straight. All these guys to overtake. Let's get up to speed on this tyre and try and chase these guys down. But we're P14 back where we were. There's a lot of positions up for grabs, so we're going to have to do it all on track by pulling off the overtake. So let's prepare ourselves. Hopefully there's enough pace in the car. I've gone for a little extra turn of front wing to have a little bit more front end on the car. Hopefully that will allow me to be a little bit closer through the corners. Let's get our head down here and let's try and make some moves. Let's see where Brendan Hartley is. We've managed to pretty much undercut him. He's still in front of us. There's Ericsson up into P13. Hartley into turn 1. There's contact. Something's happened. We're going to swoop around the outside of Leclerc. There's our chance. We've got a possibility here of getting inside the top 10. 3 cars in front of us. I'm going to get extremely close on the braking to Brendan Hartley there, but no way through. Right, this is our chance now to score some points this race. Alonso's going to be the cork in the bottle. If we can get past these guys one by one, we'll have a possibility, but we need to make it count. Alonso and Verstappen are side by side here. Hartley's behind. Verstappen and Alonso still side by side here. Alonso now just edges in front. Yellow flag deployed. Seems like on the same part of the track as us. Something's happened. As we go through the final corner, getting the power on here. Can we get a run on Brendan Hartley? I don't think we can. We're not close enough. At least not yet. Into turn 1, Alonso and Verstappen side by side yet again. We're going to get very close. Here we go. This might be our chance. We're literally pushing Brendan Hartley here. It's a drag race. Into turn 3 around the outside using the grass. I'm going to rotate the car. We get a double move around the outside. What about that for an overtake? Absolutely insane. Marcus Ericsson out of the race in the Sava. What an incredible double overtake around the outside. Really leaning on the left front there. That's not going to do my left front no favours. But what an incredible double overtake. Dipper wheel on the grass. Still get the move done. Got the car rotated enough. And we're into the top 10. Can we get past Max Verstappen now before he gets too far away? Let's find out. We've had a great run through the chicane. We're going to gain on Verstappen here. Overtake and rich mix engage. Verstappen goes defensive slightly. That ruins his line. He goes inside, but I'm going to try and put him off through the final couple of corners here. This will be our best chance if I can get past him now. Through the final corner, power down early on. Last bit of rich mix and ERS really. I need to use this wisely. I'm going to get the run through turn 1 as we're in a yellow flag zone. Focus on getting a good exit. There we go. Open up the DRS. This time we're going to get it. Come on. Up the inside of turn 3. Late on the brakes. Little lock up on the left, on the right front, sorry. But the move is done and we're up into 9th place. Whew. And breathe. That was super intense, but we got it done. And we're now on for 2 World Championship points after starting from P18 on the grid. In a grid that is very, very close for pace. We've got a couple of cars in the pit lane here. Sainz and Ocon, they were on 2 stoppers, so we jump up into 7th place now and a personal best in the process. Verstappen's still staying with me here. It's going to be hard to shake him off with the DRS because we're pretty equal for engines, but luckily the extra turn of front wing is making all the difference and I'm able to just be fast enough through the corners, and I think we can catch Magnussen, who's in front of us here, and get P6. I think that's possible. Oh, what? Safety car deployed? What's that for then? I'm not sure what's happened there. I mean, Ericsson retired a couple of laps ago. Maybe someone's had a spin or something, but safety car deployed in Australia. Interesting. I wonder what's happened there then. I'm not really... No idea what's happened, but I'm not complaining. I'll take it because it's going to bring us all together. And I was about to say, we are very, very strong. I'm very happy with the car. You know, I can manage everything, temperatures. I can manage just the car performance. We need to do some work on the engine in terms of battery and fuel consumption because that's very marginal and that needs to improve quite a lot. Other than that, I'm loving the car. It's real good fun to drive. It's super consistent and it's just great to not have to worry about temperatures again. You know, it's really nice and I'm just generally enjoying my driving again. And it's good because I can actually stay ahead of Verstappen as well. So this is interesting. This is a really good opportunity. I was catching Magnussen by quite a bit, so we're going to get a chance to have a go at him and also save some fuel on ERS for one last go in the final laps. It's going to be pretty much a sprint race to the flag, so let's see what happens here. I'm looking forward to this. We're all now back together. The pack is extremely close. The fastest lap of the Grand Prix by Ocon literally about 2 laps ago is a 121.7. That's how close we are. Our best is a 22.4 and that was ages ago on this time. Ocon's on, I think, ultras or supers. So I love this. It's really, really close on the pack and it's going to make for very, very interesting races, and I think also this season could have potential to be very, very interesting because any race it could change. Like for example, imagine Monaco. That could be very, very tasty in its own right. So let's see what happens. I'm really, really intrigued. Right, here we go then. Let's get ready for the restart. Tyres are going to be a little bit chilly, but I can work with that. That's not a problem. Getting the ERS and engine modes ready, back to normal. But here we go. We're about to get underway any second now. I think Sebastian Vettel's going to lead us away. I know it's Kimi Räikkönen actually. So here we go. Get ready for the restart now. Making sure we get those tyres warmed up one last bit. Rear's a little bit cold, but be careful with those. Here we go. Restart underway. Deploying maximum engine power. Verstappen coming at me into turn 1. It's a great restart from the Dutchman. We'll have to go on the outside of turn 1 and 2. Ah, no, we've got a 3-second time penalty for running wide. Damn it, man. I didn't really have that much room, but... oh, well, we're going to have to just work with that, unfortunately, and get the pace on. My rears are kind of really slippy at the minute. I don't know if I can't get them up to temperature or what, but I'm struggling. Verstappen and Hartley are now battling away, so I've got a chance to pull away here. Let's make it count. I'm pushing hard here. 21.8, just a whisker off at the fast lap of the Grand Prix. Verstappen 1.9 behind.
Some information on Ocon. They have an issue with their car. They're going to be slow.
That's interesting because Ocon's behind, so he's going to help hold people up. But right now we've definitely got 3 seconds on Brendan Hartley. So at the moment, as things stand, we would lose the position to Max Verstappen. So I need to find more pace and go faster if I can. But I'm running out of battery and fuel again. This pace is very strong. I'm shaking off Verstappen here. I'm doing a good job. Another lap, 22.0. Gap to Verstappen, 2.5. Another track extend there, but this time no penalty. This time I think I've got the pace to clear him, but I need to get through Magnussen. Here we go then, DRS on Kevin Magnussen. I'm not going to get him on this first straight. I'm going to try and save up my battery if I can. Get him on the second one. I think we've got enough of a gap now to Verstappen, even though we're very close. It's 2.5 still. We need to get this move done. Here we go. DRS engaged, hot lap ERS as well. Down the inside, late on the brakes. A little bit of a lock up again, but we get it done. And we're up into 6th place, but obviously we're not going to finish there, I don't think. Let's keep going though. This is so intense because I'm trying to get a 3-second gap out to Max Verstappen, which I'm pretty sure I now have, but now I can't get overtaken by Magnussen and I need to keep pace in this little pocket of space I have on the racetrack. Oh, yellow flag behind. Something's happened. I can't look at the minimap because I'm trying to focus on my pace, but I can see out the corner of my eye, yellow flag, and that pack has completely disbanded. I think it might be Brendan Hartley. I'm just pushing so hard at the minute. I'm trying my maximum to get this result. Brendan Hartley out of the race.
On Hartley. It looks like the problem is terminal. They're retiring the car.
I'm still trying to push here. I don't want that place to go to Verstappen. Pierre Gasly out of the race as well. Both of the Toro Rossos in one fell swoop out of the race. I'll have to watch that one back on the replay. Through the final corner though. Here we go. Rich mix engaged. Last bit of ERS up to the line. Pushing everything we got. Let's see if that was enough. Was it enough? P7? No, it wasn't. Still P8. Verstappen done just enough to hold on. Oh well, still decent points. Right, so looking at the final race results after race 1 of season 4, Kimi Räikkönen wins and Valtteri Bottas gets second, making it a finish 1-2 with Sergio Perez rounding off the podium there for Racing Point Force India. Sebastian Vettel P4 ahead of Daniel Ricciardo, Kevin Magnussen, Max Verstappen and myself with that 3-second penalty, ultimately missing out by 0.3 of a second on that 7th place and those extra 2 points. Charles Leclerc P9 and Carlos Sainz P10 running out the points, with Grosjean and Alonso missing out, and further down the order, 3 retirements in the form of Marcus Ericsson, Brendan Hartley and Pierre Gasly. I'm curious to see what happened to these 2 guys. I'll check that out in a moment in the replays, and you guys would have already seen it at this point because obviously in the video I would have edited that one in. But let's look at the standings. Obviously the drivers, that is the same, but the constructors though, Ferrari are leading the way by 15 points. We are in second. Obviously Bottas got second, we got 8th, so doing a good job so far, and it could be silver versus red yet again in the F1 Championship for the constructors, but it's still early days and there's a lot of things that could happen with Red Bull, Force India and all of them lot, especially Sauber. Sauber look pretty interesting this year. They could be a dark horse in my opinion. But anyway, that is race 1 out of the way, and now let's move into the laptop and let's see if we can afford any form of upgrades.
Are you missing your old team? You left a lot of paint on the walls today. Were you struggling for grip, or did you just misjudge some corners?
Great! Well, that's everything.
Right, so here we are then on the laptop. Now, there's a couple of different options here, and the main upgrade I need to make, really, is the ICE, because that's the only part of the car that's not had any reliability done to it, and my ICE is by far the most worn engine part already, and I'm not going to make it, basically, for this season with just the ICEs that I have at its current wear rate, so we need to get this upgrade, so therefore, I'm going to sit on the 900 points, and wait until after Bahrain to cash in on those, because we do have these 2 upgrades here, which are major chassis ones, which we can bring in whenever we need to, and they're going to cost around 700 points, so I think I can work towards that once I get this IC upgrade out of the way, and we can try and get those chassis upgrades on the car, which are going to really help out overall performance and also tyre, which is something we need as well, so yeah, I think for now, we're just going to wait on those points and hopefully try and build up quite a few and then start to spend them more whilst you're going into the, the more into the in-depth part of the season. But all in all, guys, hopefully you did enjoy episode 1, or should I say round 1 of season 4. If you have, then please do drop a like on the video. Also, do get subscribed for daily Formula 1 content and turn on notifications to not miss a single video from me. Finally, check out these 2 videos on your screen if you have missed them. But other than that, guys, thank you so much for watching this episode of Career Mode, and I'll see you in my next one very, very soon. But until then, it's goodbye from me.